All right, I think I'm back. Okay, yeah, I think okay, everything's good. So, um, yeah, I I ran into an issue with a pull request that I submitted in the middle of the day because I had some time to submit pull requests in the middle of the day. Come to find out, some of my unit tests broke. Dug into it, and it was all because of a date time component. I'm using Nota Time, but up until now, I haven't actually been using the iClock interface for Nota Time. So, as a result, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start small, and because I've accepted that Nota Time is my abstraction, I'm going to start injecting the iClock into my dependencies so that I have access to a clock when I need one. Um, but before I do that, I'm going to do something else that is probably, some people consider it a pattern, some people probably consider it an anti-pattern, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's just what I'm going to do. We're going to see how it works. So my plan for today is we're going to add a service provider that has an instance of every single service, um, and that way actually, I don't know if I really want to do that now that I'm thinking about it. Because if I go to like add medication, yeah, add medicine, no, add medicine, add medication to schedule. There we go. So if I go here, I maybe it should only be core bits, and I think that's gonna be the thing. Yeah, okay. So I think I am gonna continue down this road, and I'm probably gonna be mad at myself later that I did it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Under features, what we're going to do is we're going to add an interface, and we're going to call this interface iCore services, maybe. Yeah, it'll tell me what it wants to be called. I don't really like that name right now, but whatever. And I'm going to explicitly extend iCore registrations from reactive marbles because I want access to those properties as well on my core services. This is going to get weird, but we're going to do it anyway. And then for the actual core service implementation, public core services, public class. How about that? How about that? Let's. Oh, why are my buttons not working correctly? Yay, key binding's not working. Okay. No, okay, this really is weird. My key bindings are not working at all. Hmm. Okay. Core services. Implement. Let's implement the explicit implementation. Um, Not exactly what I wanted, but that's fine for now. We'll move these down to the bottom. We will then. I actually want to set these. I think I want to set these properties. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this completely different. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Um, and I'm not going to test this thing because this thing probably doesn't need to be tested right now. If I find that I have a bug in it, I'll test it. But until then, I'm not going to care. Oh, that key binding not working is gonna be fun. Core registration. So we're gonna have a composition relationship here. We're gonna move this to the bottom. That can be there. We're gonna copy that out. Exception handler. This is gonna be dot task pool scheduler dot main thread scheduler. There we go. So now this can inherit its documentation. Its documentation. Generate constructor documentation. Yay. Alright. What layer am I putting this in? And does that matter at the moment? I don't know that it does. I also want to add access to the iClock. I want the clock to be there. Add X clock. So it gives me, I believe, the I clock. Oh, yes. Hey. Okay, key bindings are working. Great. So the interface for the clock is I can get the current instant, or which gives me an instant object, an instant. So we're like in node time at this point. This is all node time code. Duration, instant from trusted duration, from untrusted duration is valid. Time since the epoch. I don't know what I'm doing here. This all feels kind of weird. Alright, so let's just do it this way. The clock gives us access to something, but what we want to project from the... Oh, no, the core service is just going to provide you access to the clock. Oh, so I'm doing this all wrong. We're about to remix. Alright. Yeah, it'd be better if I actually had a soundboard, but yeah. Okay, so then we don't want this to have an I core registration dependency. This is truly going to be a has-a relationship. So I core registration. Let's do I clock. That key binding doesn't work. Okay, clock. What other? Oh, we want a logger to be injected, so we're gonna want a eek. We want an I logger, not from Serolog, from Microsoft logging extensions. We're gonna call that the logger. We're gonna get that. Okay. What else? Let's go look at our. No, because okay, yeah. So the view model one would have to be different. So I don't want to do that. But let's go look at our. Let's go look at the add medicine schedule handler. Let me see. We have a query over here which load medication. All it does is an IEnumerable, takes in a client. So okay. So we're at this point, like our handlers aren't actually using any of that. The only place that we seem to be using it is going to be in the view models themselves. So let's go to add medication view model. Add medicine view model. There we go. Burp. So what am I doing wrong here? Okay. So I take in an iLogger factory. I take in the ICQRS. I don't think I want to replace that, but maybe I do. Maybe I want this thing to just provide me whatever I want it to provide me. It's a possibility. I don't know if I'm there yet mentally though. But I can get rid of this logger factory for sure. I'm not going to do it with the navigator regardless because the navigator is special. Ask me how I learned that. This do statement can go away because that's just for cleanup. Haha. State machine. Okay, so at the end of it, what I want is my base view model to take a dependency on iCore services. This is going to end up taking in this iLogger factory. Yeah, because it's going to create the thing. It's going to create the logger for whatever. Dependency. Oh, I don't know if we can do that. I think the best thing we can do is provide a logger factory. Let's go back and look at the view model. Because the logger factory is going to be logger factory.create log. Okay, no. We can still do that. I don't know that I want to do that every time. Yeah, okay, I'll have to just defer that and make that lazy. Because if it's a single instance, then that factory needs to be maintained, and I need to get the factory for the type. So then that would have to be an ilogger of t, which I don't have access to t. I don't want to get into that. I'll hold off on that. I'll focus on the clock because that's the thing I need to fix today. So we'll worry about that other bit later. So yep, that we could just change this. No, yeah, refactor this to a introduce parameter. Nope, I don't want an inline field. I don't want to encapsulate the field. I don't want any of those refactoring options. Okay, so let's do it this way. I'll just let it be smarter than me. Auto property for all parameters. Hey, other than it putting the constructor in the wrong place, I guess it's not bad. Non-noble fields. Don't care about those anymore. Move core services. Oh, I can do that. I can file mail and contain a single type. Let's disable that with disable for class justification. Okay, what does that mean? Remove unused class. Remove unused ones. Reorder using statements. Save that. Get core registrations. Gets the, yes, I know, standard. Gets the clock. Alright. All that should be good. Element should be documented. I really don't care about that right now. Now I have a core service, so I can go register this with features. Interesting. My brain is just catching up. Don't mind it. Okay, we'll just dump it in here, I guess, then. Yeah, we'll do this same thing. Core service, implement. ReSharper does its jazz. Alright, so now this is registered. I feel like the default registration is transient, so I'm going to leave it. I think that's good. Clock. Okay, so now I have access to a clock. So let's just build that real quick. Verify that. Okay, it looks like it's building. So now that I have an iCore service copy that I can inject, and when this gets done, do my Git magic. All right, so Git status. Really, this is a service provider, but I don't like. There's already an iService provider, and then that gets weird. I don't know. So let's do this. Add service abstraction. That way, it's not like tied in, and we aren't fully committed to it because we're gonna talk about. Or I'm gonna figure that out before I commit this because I don't know if I really like this name here. But anyway, what this does is give us access to. Yeah, and we'll just push it. Boom. All right. Okay, so we submitted a pull request. So now let's do git checkout dash b fix slash clock. All right, so we're gonna fix the clock because we broke it. We're probably gonna have to go to the Googles here in a minute and look something up. How I'm gonna want to write these unit tests is gonna be slightly different. I'm pretty sure. So let's go back to the actual broken tests. It'd be great if I could force them to fail locally, but I can't because well, I could. I'd have to change my clock. I just don't feel like doing it. I'm gonna take that task delay out. I'm gonna take that out. Ooh, I had a spicy idea that I could add a pipeline behavior and like when it's debug and it's mocked, then it'll add in a busy indication. And that would reduce my testing problem, but that's a tomorrow problem. So okay. See how easy it is to go off program and like just completely and totally go off tangent? Why you have to keep yourself focused. All right, so it's got to be a view model test, right? No. Now dot. Yeah, these are the scheduled view model tests. Okay, here we go. This is the test. It's going to be when load. So let's go ahead and pin the tab. Let's close all but pinned. Perfect. All right, so now looking at this set of tests, it's going to be specifically this one. So let's see if we can. Oh, it doesn't let me create from here. Weak. Oh, so weak. Should be for date. Let's create a new session. So I have just this one to work with. And let's run that unit test real quick. All right, so we know that it succeeds. Yeah, there's no way to force that to fail just yet. So right now, what I think I need is this query needs to take in. It's taking in a local date though. That's actually a good question. Should it even know or have knowledge of that? So let's core services, add the XML. I do this, the more I dislike it. Create a field. All right, so we've got core services. So at this point, I could do. Wait a minute, wait a minute. I don't even think that's right. So let me undo all of that. Let's just leave it for this for the moment. Let's go back to the test and verify. Okay, so the query returns. Oh, this is me breaking the world. Okay, so I need to. Okay, so I don't even think this is really going to be a issue of injecting anything. I think I can fix this unit test without by just using instead of using datetime.now, I can just use dot Unix epoch, right? I think I can do that. And if I set it to the Unix epoch, and then do my offset because I don't really care what time these are, and I just don't want it to be now. I need it to be some predetermined time in space. Some yeah, okay, but I'm explicitly setting the schedule time. So this is where time is hard and unit testing is even harder around time because I'm not even sure that the only way I'll know is that if I make this change and ship it. Because if this is from the Unix epoch, which is January 1st, and then I set plus hours, so then that by itself should fix my problem on my tests, actually. So now, I don't even think I needed that bit. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Let's see if I think I just did a whole bunch of work for no reason. Let's only add test. Probably come back to this because I don't know that I'm gonna like this fix long term. Get reset, get rebase dash I origin main. Nope, I don't really care about the VS Code release notes. I'm gonna get rid of that feature and just try and fix these tests and see what happens. GitHub. Well, the whole point of this was to fix this bug, and I still don't know if I'm like happy with this fix. But this will get this. This is like the quickest path to done, which I'll likely be upset about after the fact. It's around the same time in the day as the ones I pushed yesterday. Let me go look at all of my pull requests. Yeah, that one's failing. So if this passes, then I fixed my test issue. I also saw a blog post that I'm going to follow to set up test information on my pull requests so I can better see what's going on. It's actually interesting that that's like I find it interesting the features that are like standard in Azure DevOps versus standard in GitHub Actions and some of the like the cross section of those things like like it doesn't actually match on the Venn diagram. So it's like I'm like I don't get all the best of both worlds, but if I could, I would. Yeah, I know you can't see the actual tests being run, so I guess I can just run the build locally and see what happens. Mm-hmm. like the build server is going explicitly slower than my own machine. I'm going to get rid of those nullable warnings today. I'm going to fix that code today. Haha. C sharp source generation is hard, folks. That's already running the tests locally. Oh, it, it broke locally though. That's good. So maybe we. Oop, that's not at all what I wanted to do. My computer is going against me. Okay. So something failed. So I guess that means that our test failed. Expected to find, but found 0. This is what I get for thinking I'm smart enough to create a pull request to fix it all in one go. Alright, so that sets it to Thursday morning at 12 a.m. Okay. So now dot date. All that seems legit so far, so what's the problem? Oh, haha. Now we get to the crux of the matter. Now we get to the crux of the problem. These are using date. That's okay. I'm so smart. Um, okay, this is good. Now my brain is all caught back up and I can figure out what I need to do from here. So let me do this. If you're not following along, basically what happened is this. I changed everything in my tests to use the Unix epoch. And then when I actually went to go execute my tests, come to find out that my tests are using date time offset.now here. So I need to be able to inject my clock abstraction here to offset whatever the value of the of brain to offset whatever the value of the clock is. I think this is where we're going to get into how detailed we want to be about this clock abstraction. Because I think I'm going to do some things that makes my life easier, and I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I'm going to do it anyway. So over in my other tool, I'm just going to cheat for a second. I'm gonna rebase and grab that clock abstraction bit again. Perfect. All right. So now here, what I need to be able to do is I need to be able to say I core services core services. All right, so core services dot clock dot get current instant dot offset date time to date time offset. Ooh, I don't know what the offset is though. Do I? Let me see what. Ooh, that means I would have to keep the offset somewhere. I don't want to do that just yet. So let's do this dot to. See, this is where node of time gets interesting to me. I know you can't see my context menu, but it's giving me the ability to get the offset. So now I can get the offset and then it'll convert it to local time. I'm going to clean this piece up later. Yeah, we're going to probably we're going to introduce a variable. We're going to replace both occurrences, and we're going to call this uh, today question mark. Right. So so like if we're modeling the real world would dictate that I could be sitting there on the screen at midnight, cross the daytime boundary, which iOS will give us a notification. I believe Android does too. It's been a while since I've worked with Android day to day. And what we can do is we can update this view model when that happens. I'm not there yet. Like I said, first things first, I'm trying to get my unit tests to pass. So now if I go back to my unit tests for my scheduled view model tests and I send in, this is where it gets weird. All right, I'm going to need a fixture. I'm going to need a fixture for a core service fixture. I think I want to do an auto fixture. Yeah, I'm going to try it. We're going to try and do an auto fixture. This should have a, yeah, I need to fix that as well. Oh, no. It shouldn't. Type of core services. There we go. Applied. Yep. Next. Don't care. Okay. Sweet. Okay, so that looks like it all worked. Okay, yep. All right. So it's going to let me provide a clock. That clock. So if I do, yeah, if I don't, this is just going to let me provide the defaults. If I have it, it's good to go. If I don't, then it's not. We'll remove the redundant body for now. Have different accessibility. Let's do internal then. That should fix that. There we go. So I'll do a core services fixture. I think what I'm gonna end up doing is I'll just do it here. So wait. Oh, okay. You know what? Part of me wants to like do this with a inline bit, but I'm not gonna go there yet. But like I want to clean these tests up because these tests are aggravating me. They got too much going on, and I like minimal tests. There's too much data going on in my face, so I'll probably clean that up. I don't know whether I'm gonna use member classes or data members or how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna use theories. So far, core services equals new core fixture. That just needs to be core services. Dot with clock. Substitute for iClock. Yeah, this is getting pretty extra. iClock dot get current instant dot should or dot returns instant dot from date time offset, and then that's gonna be the Unix epoch. That feels like a lot of work just to get this test to pass, but let's run it again and verify that it actually does something, and now it should work. Yeah, okay, so now it's. Oh, what? That's hard to believe given that we didn't pass in the. Alright, so now is that time. This is. What is now? Now should. Oh, come on. There we go. Offset date time. So I should be able to do from with interesting. Okay, I don't really know what I have access to from the instant itself. All right, so this makes my test even less readable. Adds a whole bunch of more setup, but now it passes. So I'm going to do this. Alright, I fixed the test, but so let me do git push origin fix block dash force. Alright, I'll go back and look at that in a second. So now where I think I'm focused is I saw that test pass without adding this core service, and now I want to know why. So if I don't pass that in, this test should still fail, right? Debug unit test. Hopefully I have a core service. Oh, hmm. That tell me something that I want to know. Does that mean that get current instant will by default always return me the Unix epoch and I just didn't realize it? Like that's the default? Oh, this is where like knowing how to find the default of a value in .NET would be fantastic. Okay, like being able to mark it on like let's say a struct because like each one of these is a value, right? But it's not the default or may not be the default, right? So being able to mark it as the default so you can clearly see it like with like a pure attribute, like a default attribute, so you know what the default of the struct is would be pretty sauce right now. I don't have that, so I'm still questioning how it's possible. that's not the fixture. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty. 7 other fixture members, right? So with, I have to believe that the Unix epoch. Okay, so let's do this. If I do this dot, right, dot plus duration dot from days 5. Let me just verify that this doesn't change anything. Stop. Yes, I know you're going to pass. You're awesome. Stop execution. There we go. This should fail, right? Please fail. Yes. Okay. Gosh. Okay, so then that gives me some level of confidence that it just happens to be that the epoch is a magic value. So now that said, if I do with services and pass this in, still fails. Now dot date. Okay, so it still fails. That's spicy. So let's we can debug it. Let's debug it. Figure out why. Okay, it returns from the Unix e. Stop. That's why. If I do this, okay, yeah, this is gonna fail because of that. But if I do instant from date time offset add days 5, right? So if I do it this way, I do this here, and I get rid of this 5, right? So now, yes, I know that, and then if I do this here, and I just do dot now, epoch, epoch. So now maybe this will pass. Yeah, okay. Okay, so then that just means that the default was the Unix epoch, and we don't want to use the Unix epoch. We always want to use like a Unix epoch plus 5 days or whatever. We could probably set it to some like consistent value that we care about, but I think for now this is fine. This adds a whole lot of extra cruft to my test though. So while I am happy with the fact that it works, we're not satisfied with where we are right now. So we're gonna go see if we can't make it better. I think we're gonna try and make it better. Come on, mouse, you can do it. Alright, so we fixed the test for real. Git push. I don't need to force it anymore. Just need to force it one time. Okay, so alright, I'm going to do something I always have to Google. I always have to Google this, and I always derp. I always have bad moments with this, and yeah, I guess that's the right way to do it. I guess I'll do it that way. I don't really want to, but I think class data is probably just the easiest. Okay, so nope, I did it again. He did it again. Uh, let's close that. Let's do. It would be queries. It would be add class load schedule class data. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Paste that directly from the internets. Shh, don't tell anybody. All right, so I'm gonna do yield. No, not yield rate. Yield return. New. Yeah, I'm balking on it because I don't think that this is actually the way I want to do this, but this is how this is going to end up being done if I don't think of something smart quick. So I need to return a medication schedule. Let's go back. So, oh yeah, this is going to get weird. No, it won't. No, it won't. Mixture. And then we're going to return. It's going to be an offset date time. It's going to be the offset set date time dot from offset date time dot offset dot unix epoch dot add days 5. Yeah, that seems spicy enough. Use object array, which is exactly what we should be expecting anyway. Chop line u. What does this want me to do? This wants me to use a collection expression, which is fine. I have an offset. I'm going to do something better with this later. I think the reason why I always whiff on this the first time is I always start here. And then I always end up saying, oh, well, I need better fidelity information. Okay, so theory class data. Okay. So this goes away. Now I get class data type of that. This is going to take in a medication schedule, which is going to take a medication schedule, and this is going to take in a offset date time, which is date time? Question mark? So this request is going to now use that value. Oop. Oh, extra spicy. It's okay. I don't think we really care. That's the end of that. There we go. So that should be everything that's required. Nope. There we go. That should be better now. So that cuts that down. This is the offset. Oh. Boo. Okay, that's easy to fix though. All right, so we don't want this to be the offset date time. We're just going to send in the actual date time offset. And now that means this is going to be the date time. And then we're going to use this here. And this begins the cleaning up of our test. Date time. All right, so now if I do that, I run this. One or more child test is broken, but found 0. Yay. Okay, so that's easy enough to look at. Debug the unit test. Drop this down a little bit because I don't have but one test. Okay, that's spicy. We're adding 5 days, which seems right. That's the time it's going to return. Oh, that's pretty cute. Ha 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 ha. Okay, we're going to take this whole thing, we're going to copy it, and we do this. Put everything back. We're going to go here to our class data. And this is what we want to. Extract method. Default scenario for now. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then we'll do this. And we'll say we'll introduce a variable and call that now. Scheduled time. Yeah, okay, that's fine. And then we'll take this and we'll do. We'll change this to now. And then we'll take now dot to offset date time. Now everybody's happy, but this needs to go back as now. That's not confusing. So then I'm going to create another one and I'm going to say create scenario. We're going to pass in the date time offset now. We're going to pass in the medication schedule, and we're just going to return now, and then we're going to return the medication schedule. Yeah, seems good here. There we go. Paste. We'll take that. Alright, so that creates the scenario. So we'll do the default scenario and we'll call return create scenario, and we'll pass in now, and we'll pass in this. This is the spiciest. Here we go. All right, great. Now, let's see if this actually works. Yes, I know the code is unreachable. Let's delete it then. All right. So now let's see if this actually works. Don't know if it's gonna work, but we're gonna try it anyway. We're gonna run this. Hey, it's green. Green means go. Okay, so that tells me that all that's good. but we're still having to pass in, do this clock jazz. I don't like this, but for now, I think I'm okay with like where we are and the fact that we at least fixed the problem. Question mark. Yeah. So my test will pass, and I think that's what's important for the moment. Why do I? Oh, I need the date time for this to get the instant. So if I send in a clock, okay. So if I send in a configured clock, that'll reduce this noise. But then I still have to create a course service. Like part of me just wants to send in the stinking service and be done with it. Yeah, part of me wants to just send in like everything. It just had. I know I'm lazy. You don't have to tell me. I just don't want to look at all this. I get that it's like important for the test, but I mean, is it really important? We're just taking in random dates and values, and we're splitting our configuration across two places. For now, I think I'm gonna leave it like this because I don't want to rock the boat too much. I may play with that later and see if I can't find a way that makes me feel better about how this looks. Ooh, that is also not at all what we want. So let's do. Can we do like a? Is it like a refactor and it just swaps the? Nope, doesn't. Okay, so let's do it this way. I don't know. I just feel like this schedule is more important than the date. So now if I do that, then I come here and I. Ooh, yeah. That is now the enumeration for that. That needs to be there. There we go. So send in a fixture with enumerables. I send back now. I now get rid of that. Yep. So if I run it again, it's still passing locally. So now if I do git status, all right, we're gonna verify that it actually is fixed on the server now. Pull requests. Yep, I'm watching the build. Just want to see and verify that I actually fixed it on the build server. Let me take these breakpoints off. I still feel like I can do better than this. Oh, I did talk about the fact that I don't want to have to actually mock a CQRS bit. Part of me feels like I want to do this containerized and I want to register the. Mm, I don't know. Actually, I don't. You know what? Maybe it might make more sense for my view model tests to be containerized. While I know that starts to push the boundary of unit test versus like integration test, I think having an option of the, oh, I have container tests. Yeah, I could verify it that way. But these test the actual container, not the thing backed by the container. So I think that they would end up being like integration tests. I'm using air quotes. You can't see me. I promise they're there. Um, but I don't know if I really want that either. I don't. Yeah, I'm quiet because I'm thinking, and I don't want to just think out loud because I feel like I'm talking to myself. But it feels like there's an opportunity to send these two dependencies in better than I currently have them. And whether that's a sending in a fully stubbed out clock, which I think is what I'm going to end up doing. I think I'm going to end up sending in a clock stub, an iClock stub. And on that stub, I'm going to have a configurable. No, because I still have to do that, and I don't really want to do that. I can just, yeah, I think I can create like a clock stub. Let's try this real quick. Let's see if we can do this. Let's do smart things. Let's do a class. Let's do clock stub. Right, so it will have a public static I clock equals underscore clock equals substitute dot for I clock. Oh, oh, whatever I just did. Create field I clock. I'm good at this. Moves. Ooh, Z. I just. Wait. Is it question mark equals then? Yeah, that's what it is. I'm just bad at typing today, and pretty much every day, but that's fine. Okay, so that sets clock, and let's do get. No, 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 no. Don't start searching my Mac for stuff just because I hit the wrong key binding. This is going to be a nullable clock, but it's going to return a substitute. I don't think that's how we want it to be either. I think private static clock stub. In the clock stub, we'll do underscore clock equals. Oh wait. Okay. Because I have to stub it out. Var clock equals. Which is basically nothing more than lazy. And then clock dot get current instance dot returns date time instant dot from date time offset. And it's gonna be date time offset dot Unix epoch dot add a year, and I'm going to add the year, month dot add month, 5 months. I don't know what day. I don't know what day during that month, so we'll just add 5 months. I'll ask my father later. That's an important day for my father. It's the day he crossed Omega, so I should know that, but I don't know it off the top of my head. This is make constructor. Nope. Private static clock. Oh. Oh, it doesn't like the private prefix. Okay. Yeah, there's no time that that's ever going to be null anymore, so we don't need this. And we can just return. Why do we care about that? This field can be made read-only. So now if I do that, I should just be able, really what this should be is this. This will go away. That goes away, and now I have an auto property for the clock stub. So now my clock stub can be used so now with clock, but I could just do this. Oh, now I need a feature that I don't have implemented. Haha. Okay, that's fine. Clock stub dot clock. Okay, that gets me a clock stub, so now I shouldn't need any of... Ooh, spicy. That doesn't let me set the return value, so that's not going to work. Okay, so I just did all that work to set up that clock stub, but that's not going to actually do any good. So because I need to be able to configure it, okay, so I could change this to a method. I actually don't think I really want to get into this, solving that problem right now. Let me go back and see if my build is passing. Nope, my build is still failing. My test is still failing. It's throwing an exception. Oh, a different test is failing though, I think. This test is oh, because it uses something similar. Okay, so going back to default scenario. Today's schedule should have medications. Okay, so let's call this default scenario. Let's just call this, I don't know, what's the test? It's failing. With medications, okay, that'll work. Default medication scenario. We're gonna go. Wait, shouldn't? Yeah, it's this. No. That's the one. Here we go. All right, so this is gonna be what we need to put for. Here we go. Default medication. So we're gonna do this. Schedule. Replace. All right. And then we need to go grab. Yeah, this would be so much easier if I just kept up. We're gonna end up running these. So this is where it starts to get weird, and I want member data. I remember why I don't do class data. Dun dun dun. Let's go. There we go. Ibuprofen. Alright, so now that's there. This is still using now, and this should probably be using schedule time. Okay, all that seems good enough. Oh no, don't do that. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. So let's do find class data. Theory class data. Alright, so here we'll just take this whole thing and we'll call this medication schedule. We'll delete that. Reset some things. Yep, that's fine. Ibuprofen goes away. Now goes away and becomes well, that's kind of janky. All right, let's do git add. All right. Still haven't fixed the problem, and I also don't have like accurate printout of pardon me, which tests are failing, so that makes the whole thing harder. These are also still failing. Those are failing. Okay, so all of these are failing server side, but none of them are. All right, so let's do this. Trying to solve the time-based tests. Nope, don't want to do that. Get rid of that. Let's go to that. So let's do this. Remarks. I know how to do a list of these, but that's one test. That's another test. That's another test. All my tests are failing, and I don't know why. And of course, it's all happening on the build server. Okay, those are all the tests that are failing. All the ones that we need to go look at. Okay. I actually think I'm going to take a break here, and I'm probably going to make some changes to my CI server so the failing tests will be more explicit, and then go from there. So um, I will take my break or my leave from you guys right now. I'm going to go figure out how to get my unit tests to show up on my build so that I can see them correctly because it does on all my other builds, but for some reason this build is not set up the same. So I got a whole bunch of cleanup stuff to do today before I can get back to actually writing any code. Um, but refactoring is a thing and maintenance is a thing, so we got to make sure that maintaining the application is easy to do. So I'm actually going to run this locally, and while I'm running this locally, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a great rest of your day, and thanks for joining in.